That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to kick back, relax, and have a cup with Joe. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. I am your host, Joe Muzidla. It is good to be with you as I record this. It is the 29th of June. It's Saturday evening. It's getting late, as usual. Usually like to, I'm kind of a night owl, so... anyways, it is good to be with you. It has been a while since I've recorded, anything. I did do, 2 shows recently, 2 programs with, Brother Matthew Miller, on his platform, and as usual, it's, always an honor to, spend time with him, and, on those, on the first one, it's you can go to according to the scripture.com, I believe it is, and check out all the work that he has done. It's an amazing amount. He's an amazing man, amazing man of God. Anyways, we recently did an episode together, just kind of going over what's been going on in our lives, and I believe it was titled Faith at Full Throttle, and I talk about some things on there, and I'll kind of touch on them on this one. I'm not going to go into great detail because it's really not super important, but basically I left my job, my current job, and it was a hard thing to do. It was, especially the years that I had been there. Almost, I believe, I know it was 9 for sure. Almost 10 years, somewhere around in there, 9 or 10 years that I was with that company, and it just, I'm not going to go into details. It was just time. God's always, got a way of moving us where he wants us to be. And sometimes that can be, it can be quite uncomfortable, or he will increase the pressure until we then say, hey, okay, you got my attention. What would you like me to do? And So it is a good thing. It is really a good thing. And I did not have another job lined up. I did have, I shouldn't say that. I had a little part-time gig lined up, and so basically taking off a couple of weeks. My wife and I are also in the process of getting our little house ready to sell and moving. We'll be in state. I'm not sure where we're going to end up exactly yet, and I'm fine with that. God will definitely provide where He wants us to be, and it's also time for that as well. Where I live, I own I shouldn't say I own it. The bank owns it, but a little trailer. And we don't own the land. You basically rent the land from the trailer park, and increasingly the lot rent has gone up considerably, and it just doesn't make sense to stay here and pay that high of a price. It just doesn't right now. So this was something we were talking about before even more pressure was applied, and I left my job. But I do have a couple of choices to with interviews and all that. So He always takes care of me. So now I just need to, well, I just need to see which one makes the most sense and what I would like to do from here. At least in that capacity of the busy work, career wise or whatever whatever you want to call it. It's not as well. It's not as prominent as it was. It's kind of funny how he puts you in situations that kind of washes that away from you. And you kind of see what you were doing, and well, in the midst of that, let me put it this way. In the midst of that, been very, very involved with my local church, which I adore. It has been such a blessing, and God has increased in that capacity. We started up a automotive ministry, and that has been a blessing to just to help people out. Trust me, there is no shortage of vehicles that need worked on. So it's one of those. It's almost one of those ministries you could really do full time. I just don't have the I guess the financial backing right now, but we'll see where that goes. You never know what God's going to do, and He can always provide. Not really too worried about that, but that has been a blessing. Also, I've in years past, I've played with different bands and different things, and have had some musical background, and so I've been getting a little involved with that, with the musical side, or the musical side, the worship team, and contributing to that, as well as even Bible studies, and you name it, and just I think one of the most precious things we can give is our time. And I love sitting with others and just hearing. Sometimes they just need somebody just to hear. Just you don't need to say anything. They just need to tell you their story. They're dying to tell you where they're at. And so the capacity to minister to others is so great that God provides. There's no boundaries to it, and I enjoy that more so than the boundaries that you find in a workplace. So kind of a weird position that I find myself in. I would much rather do all those things than go to a day job, but there are responsibilities that need to be met, and so I will do that. So I'm just trying to weigh out the different options and all that good stuff. So, but it is good to be here. It is good to be doing this. It has been a while. My health has not been the greatest. It has that's another factor that's kind of weighing in on decision of what can I do, as I am becoming increasingly limited, just due to just health issues right now. And so, but, well, He is good, isn't He? He is good. And well, praise His name. Praise His name. Anyways, all that stuff out of the way. Let's talk about something else. I don't even want to talk about that stuff anymore. Let's talk about something else. I don't listen to a whole lot of other podcasts and such. I usually put the Audio Bible on, or I love worship music, or instrumental music. I've always just been a huge fan. In fact, that's what my last name actually means, is music or for the love of music. So I've always just had an affinity for music. And so I do enjoy it. It's very peaceful, and well, it can definitely brighten up your day. And I love. Yeah, I am the. I tell people, like many of us, I am the world's greatest singer. In my vehicle by myself with the windows rolled up very tightly. But no, I do enjoy singing along with many worship songs, and it's just such a good thing to do, and even just listening to the words and the melodies, and it can just really, through some of the toughest times of our lives, it can be very, very uplifting, and it reminds me, well, I am reminded of a time that is coming that it will once again bring comfort. Those harmonics will literally comfort us during some very, well, stressful times, we'll just say. And so I'm actually looking forward to that. That sounds kind of weird, but I'm growing more weary of this system of control, this pyramidal scheme system. So I'm be nice just to spend your whole day just in praise and worship, wouldn't it? Continually, with no end, no seams, no boundaries. Just what a beautiful thing that would be. Anyways, I did listen to another individual, well, a couple of them, I should say, and one was definitely based on. It was, I believe it was like a dream vision given to a gentleman, and I'm not discounting that God definitely gave him something, but with his past studies and such, it was a little disappointing that he automatically pointed this to the rapture. Which, if you've listened to any of these shows, I am not a rapturist. Nowhere in God's holy word is that word. So, I don't even like saying that word, to be honest with you. So, that was one that I think, when I listened to it, I heard something much different than what his, I guess what his idea of what the dream was. What he described was more of what he described was a relocation event. What he described was more of what we're given in Exodus than anything else. Than when I listened to it a couple of times, and it sounded very different to me than than what he portrayed it to be, or his final thoughts on what it was. But anyways, so I did listen to that, and there was another gentleman that is quite new, but very very much on fire, and does another like audio video kind of show. And I really fell in love with his very first one, his testimony. His testimony was just amazing, phenomenal. The transformation that this gentleman went through, and very, very inspiring, of the addictions that he was brought out of, and the lifestyle that he was brought out of, and and he's been very, very hard at it. But I haven't listened to a whole ton of his stuff, mainly the testimony, and I listened to one other thing, and I don't agree, I guess, with everything he says, but he does bring out some interesting points at times when he's talking about the Bible, which he does bring out